The elusive target problem. Now, the big problem with the elusive targets right now, which everyone knows, and like Oro's just said there, crap arcade. Right, look, the whole thing about elusive targets when the first came out in 2016 was they were exciting. It was like, ooh, this is a one-time thing, and like excitement around elusive targets was like really high. And it was cool to start off with. But then when we got so far into Hitman 2, that whole elusive target thing became a little bit boring. And the problem with it is they're putting a lot of time and effort into creating content that we barely get to play. And that is the issue. Content we're not playing. So we'll have a target come up and they'll be there for like a couple of days or a week or whatever, and then that content is gone, and then we're just back to what we've already got to play. When the Elusive Target arcade got announced, I was really excited because in my mind this was permanent content. This is just going to be a full list of elusive targets that we can play freely as many times as we want, without having to get locked out of content. IO decided to take it a step further and make content that we were just going to absolutely despise, because they decided to not only make elusive targets content that you were going to get locked out of still, but let's escalate them. And everyone hates escalations. We've all been moaning about escalations for I don't know how long, and we're back to fucking square one again. So now not only can we jump on and play the elusive target that we want, if we fuck up, we're getting locked out of it for like 12 hours at a time, and that is just bad content. So my solution, or the idea I have, or so let's say if I was at IO and I was part of the decision making process, I definitely wouldn't have done anything close to this. So I'm sat back and I'm thinking, well, what content did we get in the past that worked? And for me, the likes of bonus missions in 2016 was cool. We got to go back and revisit a previous map in a different way. We got new challenges. We got different unlocks, and that content worked. And then on top of that, in Hitman 2, we got new content, we got new levels, and that's where the content is at its best. And I think it kind of needs to stay that way. Permanent content that you can really get your fill of. So for me, if it was part of the decision process for what to do with elusive targets, then I think the decision is pretty clear. Why don't we just make it its own mini campaign? I mean, we've got the Patient Zero stuff. We've got the bonus missions. I don't know why we can't have elusive targets as its own mini campaign. They restructure the elusives to be kind of scaled the same way that the main game is, or the other previous content was, like Patient Zero was. You've got your list of elusives and locations. So you'll start off with your first elusive. You've got to beat an elusive to move on to the next one, but once you've beaten, unlocked an elusive, you can go back and play that content anytime you want, as much as you want. And each elusive target has its own set of new challenges and unlocks. And like I've been saying for a while, and Josh had just brought it there again, is we've got the likes of the little flashy that was kind of given for an elusive target that we won't be able to play again now, which was the Undying. So there's content there that people like me have got, because I played it in a previous game and brought it over into Hitman 3, that people won't be able to get now. Well, this is a good way for people to be able to work on something to get them unlocks. So there's a way of bringing the little flashy back, and there's probably other bits of gear there that we've got from previous games that could also be unlocked in a game mode like this. And like I say, I mean, we've got elusives from previous games that we didn't get this time around in Hitman 3 that could be brought back. That's more content. So not only are we going to have like a full list to work on, that's opening a whole new lot of possibilities and things to do in the game, not just in terms of content, but in terms of like speedrunning too. One of the things that kept me glued to this game when I started was, alright, well, now I've done most of the content, let's move on to the speedrunning stuff. So then I'll be looking at that content in a completely different way. Then I can move on to the speedrunning stuff of like, right, let's see what we can do. Like, we've got fire wire only, poison only, accidents only. That's a shit more load of content added on just one elusive target. And if we've got a full fucking stack of them, that's a shitload of content. That's a lot of things for me to be working on. So not only would we have a shitload more content, but the lads on speedrun.com can add them all in as a proper extended category. Because right now, there is something on there for the likes of people that have got Peacock, but I'm on console. I can't get on Peacock. We've got people on Xbox that they can't get on Peacock, so that's content lost right there. And I think what the whole thing about Peacock is it's great because it gives people the opportunity to go back and play them elusives again. But the problem is people like me are locked out of that content, and it's pretty fucking annoying. So you could bring all of that back. We could have a brand new extended category just for elusive targets. And people could be fucking going in for the fiber wire only, the accidents only, default loadout. That's giving people a reason to stick around and play the game, because there's going to be a lot more content. On top of that, of like having extra challenges for each elusive target, having more unlocks. This is probably a good excuse to bring back some old suit unlocks that people might not have gotten, or even some new ones. And it's all there to play whenever you want. And on top of that, it's not just that, it's the likes of me, where I got seriously excited about the elusive targets because I thought, right, I could go back and play the elusives again in their original form, and I could get all the flying kills again. Now the only problem is I go back to the likes of Elusive Target Arcade, and now all of a sudden it's riddled with all of these silly fucking restrictions, and it's like, well, this isn't the content that I wanted to play or anyone else wanted to play. Anyone I know has said they fucking absolutely hate Elusive Target Arcade. It is an absolute fail. And not only have they kept the elusive targets elusive and they're locking us out of content, but now they've fucking escalated them and they've added in stupid fucking challenges like hardcore bodies, and I've seen nothing but people moaning about it. Terrible. I haven't touched it since day one. I've barely touched it. Everyone I know has barely touched it. Terrible. What's that? Upcoming arcade batches leaked. I haven't even seen anything about any leaks. I have no high hopes for anything. But I definitely feel like if IO had have like really made it feel like actual content, people would have been over the moon with it. Like I say, I had plans to go back and redo all of the flying kills and finish them all. There was a lot of shit I had planned, and then when I found out it was just crappy escalated elusives, I was just mortified. Like, it's terrible. This is like pretty much the worst thing they've brought in. I say people have had enough of like the whole escalation thing to start with, and to make elusive targets escalations while still keeping them content that you get locked out of if you fuck up is just terrible. It's on mini campaign. That to me that would be mint. Yeah, you get to go back. You got a whole load of new challenges, making the elusive targets replayable. You get to go back, experiment with them, do them multiple different ways, which is what the game is supposed to be about, by the way. And then add in more of the unlocks that people got locked out of in previous games, or add in new unlocks. And for me, that'd be amazing. Just keep it exactly the same way as you would if you were starting from Paris, and then you'd move on to Sapienza, and then you'd move on to Marrakesh. Set the elusives out that way, so that you'd start with the first elusive, and then once you've beaten that, you move on to the next one. But the previous is there in a list, ready for you to play whenever you want, and just keep going like that until you've done the full list. And then after that, the possibilities are endless. Like I say, you got the challenge runs, you got the speed runs that could be added to speedrun.com, so people could start doing stupid fucking things like a full speed run of elusive targets from start to finish. Like usually I like going in and doing the challenge runs throughout the trilogy, and I'd be doing like accidents only, Paris to Romania. Well, now people could be coming in and doing speed runs or challenge runs from first elusive to last elusive. Now that would feel like proper content. I don't know if anyone agrees with me on this, but that's what I feel. I feel like that would sort everything out. I'll always say that, like, some of the best content that came in was the remix maps and the new levels, and that's where IO's at its best, and they need to stick with that format. This elusive thing isn't working, and I understand that they're called elusive targets. They could rebrand these in a new light, you know what I mean? They could change the name. They don't have to be elusive anymore. Bring them back in as something else. Because this whole elusive thing hasn't been working since early on in Hitman 2. It's time to change. It's time to give us actual content now. Make a snail reskin. Well, that's a problem as well. Is that we haven't had anything new since like the game came out. I think. Well, tell a lie. We have had new things, but the problem again, which really wound me up, is that it was all behind a fucking paywall, and it was the same with Hitman 2, and everyone, I all fucking knew what they were doing with the electric phone. I all know what they were doing. You mean a phone that you can plonk down and it kills anyone for free? People are gonna fucking jump on that straight away. Honestly, I do believe that the electric phone was added in to the gold edition of Hitman 2 just so people would have incentive to buy it. The electric phone was a fucking joke. And then they decided to take it out. You didn't need to take it out. It just needed to be rebalanced. It just didn't need to be a free kill. It just didn't need to be an accident kill. But once again, that was something else that was stuck behind a paywall. And then you've got the snail that was behind a paywall. You've got the flash guns that they were behind a paywall of content that nobody wanted. Again, by the way, because I mean, I always said I wouldn't get the 7 deadly sins. Look, I crumbled. I got it. I got the snail. I got all of the other content. For the reason that I wanted that in my inventory, so I could try it for myself and see what I thought about it. And yeah, the 7 deadly sins was poor content. Didn't like it. Didn't want it. We don't need it. Yeah, and exactly, I agree, and about 99% of people will agree that the escalations, like the amount we got and the amount of effort that went into them, was pretty poor. It's like IO is like, look at the amount of content that we're throwing your way at. It's pointless throwing a lot of content at us when we're not enjoying it. See, I'd rather the knuckle down and focused on the likes of what they did in previous games, like the remix maps, with more challenges and more unlocks and things like that. And I don't mind paying for them, as long as I'm getting content I like, and I like the remix maps, and I like the new maps, and I'll be all for it. I don't mind spending a bit of extra cash on content I'm going to enjoy. Fucking right. But I am getting pissed off when I'm getting stuck on having to miss out on content behind a paywall that I don't want to play anyway. Now, any new item that's coming into the game needs to be an unlock, and that should not be locked behind a paywall. Any kind of weapon, cosmetics, I couldn't give a shit about, but new items is a bit of a joke. No new items should be stuck behind a paywall ever. That should be in as challenges. Like I said, the likes of, like, the thing that's annoying me right now is, like, I'd say someone will say to me, "Oh, I'm waiting on a run, can you help me?" And I'll be like, "Yeah." And I'll run in with my little flashy because I know that's got its own special abilities. And then people will be like, "Well, I don't have the little flashy, what am I supposed to do?" We need IO to start letting us unlock this fucking content that was locked behind a previous game. It's annoying. It's annoying for me, and I know it's annoying for people like you too. We need to find a way to get all of this fucking content into everyone's hands, because everyone has the right to be able to fucking get it and use it. Yeah, exactly that. There's been a lot of reskin shit in the game lately, and it's annoying. We really haven't had like actual new content that came with Hitman 3. I think we got what did we get? The likes of the Midgie Taser. I think that's about the only new item that I've kind of like really enjoyed. I think apart from that, everything else has been the same. But yeah, any item like that should absolutely be free in the game. Don't lock people behind a paywall. Yeah, that's the problem right now. Is that, yeah, like they've got 007 on the go. I mean, it sounds like IO have really expanded though. So there should be a big enough team being able to work on the Hitman 3 content, but it's like right now everything just seems very, very minimal and easy content to be pushed out. Like, it doesn't seem like Elusive Target Arcade, it doesn't seem like there's a lot of energy been put into that. It seems like IO's solution for no content is, let's make it an escalation. There's supposed to be a new MP, new IP they will release with Warner Brothers. We'll see. Yeah, exactly. Big Smoke's coming in then saying, I don't know why they did the 7 deadly sins instead of bonus missions like they did for Hitman 1, which I'll say again is probably one of the best amount of content we've had. Because I still go, I mean, like I said, like yesterday, I was on Landslide trying to do some crazy flying propane shit. Because that feels like real content to me. I enjoy the bonus missions. A lot of people up there enjoy them. Yeah, a house built on sand, great mission. It's a good way to bring back a level and make it replayable. Nighttime Marrakesh was cool. Nice content. Seven Deadly Sins, not so much. Elusive Target Arcade, not so much. Yeah. I'd rather like the content we were getting was minimal but a lot better. Like I'd rather like less with more quality content rather than the amount we've been getting now. Because I sort of like they do the whole monthly layout, and I think right escalations I don't play them, feature contracts I don't play them. One Elusive, right? Great. That's like about an hour's worth of fun for me. And fucking whatever else to bring in. Like there was only the Elusives that really kept me entertained, and then it was going back to right. Let's do another Paris to Romania, and things just start get boring. My favourite map of all time? I don't know. Each season has a different favourite map. Probably season 1 will probably be Colorado because that was the challenge. That was the map I wanted to absolutely destroy. Colorado is like the bomb diggity. Next after that, I'm not sure. Maybe Mumbai, because that seemed quite expansive and interesting. Maybe not so much now. And I'm still deliberating on season 3. So when I first went in, I kind of felt like Berlin was going to be the number 1, but I'm not too sure now. Yeah, exactly. That's the problem. Individuality, being able to like go to the elusive you want to play, and that's the problem. Is that like if I wanted to concentrate on one elusive target, say like someone that like works a lot and missed out on elusive or fucked up on an elusive, and they're like, oh yeah, I want to go back and play that elusive again. They're excited to play one specific elusive target, and then all of a sudden, that elusive target is like in the middle of a list. Okay, so you've got to you do 1, 2, 3 first. Then you get to play the elusive you want. Then once you've completed that elusive, you've got to fucking finish the other 2 or restart and have to fucking play the others again to go back to that elusive that you want to play. It's a terrible format. It's a fucking terrible format. And I don't know how they thought this would be a good idea. It's fucking horrendous. And then, and like I say, and then on top of that, like, it's poor content because if you fuck up, it's like, oh, you can't play for 12 hours now. Well, great, but what the fuck am I supposed to do now? Because I wanted to concentrate on this specific thing. What are you going to do? It's boring. People don't want to be locked out of content. That is just a terrible fucking way to put something in a game. No one wants the elusive thing anymore. They just want content they can play and enjoy. I mean, like I say, first time round it was amazing. It was a new thing. It was like, oh, if you fuck up, it goes on your record, and you gotta be careful and you gotta be good. And now it's like, who gives a fuck? Elusive targets aren't elusive anyway because you can fucking restart them if you fuck up anyway. the end game, right? Let's go back in. The whole elusive thing that's been fucking gone for a long time. Now, there's people out there that still don't know you can do that, and if they did know, they would do it. That's how much they care about things being elusive. And you're welcome in. We're talking about elusive targets and how great they are. But yeah, like I say, like, if I was a part of the decision making process at IO, I would go for making the elusive targets as their own mini campaign. For me, that would be amazing. You get to play all the elusives again. I mean, obviously you'd have to go through and slowly unlock them. But like I say, once you've done that, I've just fucking jumped to an elusive if that's the one you want to play. I mean, you can do that in the main game with the levels anyway. I mean, it comes up, we recommend you play this first. I mean, set it out like that. But yeah, have it so you can like first elusive, after you beat him, he's unlocked. Then you got your second elusive, and just go through it as its own mini campaign. And then they've got extra unlocks, so you can do challenges for the elusives. This could have been a good way to bring in new content or bring back old content. Like I say, Little Flashy needs to come back. People are moaning because they don't have that, and personally I think it needs to come back so everyone can have it. So unlocks, you can put them in there, and it like I say, when it comes to like speedrun.com, that adds a whole new thing. We could have a whole new extended category for doing speedruns through elusives, standard runs, fiber wire, accident, default loadout, whatever. That's just giving us a lot more content to do, a lot more reason to play the game, which right now I don't feel like I've got a lot, because I've done a lot in this game, and like I say, I've been based in this game since 2016. Right now it's just not giving me a lot. Hope the career mode is good. It has potential to be good. It really does. To be honest, I think the way they could structure that game mode could actually be potentially beneficial to the next game. I kind of feel like this game, in a way, is a little bit too easy, and I think it has potential to give us more benefit in the next game. In the likes of, why not bring back the money system, and why not be penalised for leaving a briefcase or leaving a pistol, leaving a sniper rifle, and then you've got to go back and then buy it again, and not just that, the upgrades too. This way, it would force people to be a lot more cleaner when they play the game. Right, you buy your weapon, but then you've got to buy the suppressor, then you've got to buy the scope, then you've got to buy your perks or whatever, you know what I mean? You'll leave a sniper rifle behind, you've got to fucking buy all that shit back again, and if you do it too much, you'd end up in the red. And you'd also get penalised for leaving evidence behind. I'm pretty sure that was the thing in Blood Money. You can't leave your pistol behind, or you wouldn't get Silent Assassin. I like that. I don't know why they couldn't bring that back. You get penalised on the end result for evidence left. Man comes to recover the debt, yeah. No, I don't want to get my hopes up for Freelancer. I really don't. I got my hopes up for the Elusive Target Arcade, and And that just ended up being a fucking massive disappointment for me. But yeah, I think for later down the line, if this was something that IO could look into doing, I think this would be like amazing. And not, and never downloadable as well. So, because the problem with Elusive Target Arcade right now is that we're technically streaming it, so it's laggy and it's blotchy and it doesn't feel great to play neither. Because I mean, we haven't actually downloaded anything for the Elusive Targets. It's not a downloadable level. I'd like to be able to just download the full list of Elusives and be able to play it like its own mini campaign. It would be fucking epic. I'd be over the moon. I'd have so much more fucking content to do. I'd have fucking like another 1,000 hours in me for the amount of shit I've planned for a full Elusive Target list. Yeah, and more flying propane. Exactly. Exactly. Is sharing link free? What, a link in here? If you're if you're a mod. Well, yeah, that's my idea, and that's what I would have done if I was a part of the decision making process. And then I say, if I worked at IO, or if IO were in touch with me and had been like, "Right, you're someone that plays the game every day. What do you think of this?" I'd immediately said, "Don't do it. This Elusive Target arcade format you're going for right now will not work. Do not do it." That would have been the words that come out of my mouth if someone from IO had said to me, "What do you think of this?" Absolutely never. Absolutely never. And like I say, as soon as I found out that it was going to be content that people were getting locked out before it even became playable, like everyone was going, "Oh, this could be cool. This could be..." No, it's not cool. It's not cool. And in about a week's time, when everyone's playing it, you're all going to catch up with me and be where I am right now. It's going to be terrible. Guess what? It didn't even take one fucking day before everyone was like, "This is terrible." Which is nearly the end of my stream. So no one wants content that locks them out. And I'm glad when everyone actually caught up and got over this fascination of the Elusive Target arcade thing, that like, yeah, everyone's on board with what I was saying a week before it even came out. It's going to be terrible. And not to mention, I didn't realise there was going to be a shitload of fucking stupid restrictions in there, like the hard all bodies thing, which is the big thing that everyone's been moaning about. That was a terrible idea. And not to mention, the restrictions are structured in a way that make no sense. Look, if you're going to do restrictions, do it like this. Right? If you've blatantly fucking killed someone with a knife, and it's obvious they've been murdered, the body needs to be hidden. But if it's set up to be an accident and there's no suspicion around it, then what purpose do you need to hide the body? It doesn't make any sense. If they're going to add these restrictions in, restructure them to make sense. Because it doesn't make sense to me that I've just killed him, the body's been found, I'm still in the green, but now he's in the body bag and I failed. The whole thing needs a complete restructure of like, alright, well, if you're gonna have all bodies in, that body obviously needs to be hidden for a reason. If you shoot him in the head, that body's gonna get found like that, well, yeah, hide the body. If he's been killed with an accident or he's been killed with poison, in that, if the body gets found, it's not gonna break silent assassin, then there's no reason for that body to be hidden. So then that gives people more options to go, okay, well, if I don't want to hide the body, then I'll look at either getting him with poison or getting him with an accident. You've still got that restriction there, but it's not as aggressive. Now, I think that would probably play a lot better. Now, I wouldn't mind that, because then that means I could still do my flying and propane and kill them from halfway across the map and not have to worry about running over there and hiding the body, even though it's been fucking spotted because I blew them up with a propane tank. This game's always been trial and error, pretty much, yeah. Well, since we first bought it, we've all been fucking beta testers. And like I say, look, at as much as I'm on about this game, I love it, and the game's got a lot of great qualities about it. But it seems, as of lately, the content that IO are knocking out are just, it's just not what people are asking for. We've been moaning about the format of Elusives. Obviously, we're sick of the whole Elusive thing. We've been moaning for the past year about the escalations. All we're getting is escalations. People are just getting bored of them. And then they decide to put the two together for like to make some sort of like super content that people are just going to absolutely despise. It's almost like IO went, right, let's create content that everyone will absolutely hate and despise, and went, right, people hate escalations and people hate the way elusive targets work, let's put them together and fill them with restrictions. Yeah, that's fucking great content, that. But like I say, I'm trying to put my opinion out there, and I'm trying to help. Not like anyone from IO is going to fucking pay any attention to me. IO couldn't give two fucks about what I think. But like I say, if this video goes out and people are on board with it and think that the idea I have is a better fucking format and it gets some traction, which I think it probably will, then who knows? But I think what IO need to actually start doing in the future, I mean, not just with Hitman, but with the likes of 007 as well, or whatever format they're going with, that is to talk to the players. You know, a select few that play the game every day, that fucking know the game inside and out, and be like, right, look, we've talked. We have this idea for like something we want to do with the game. What do you guys think? You know what I mean? And like, you know, be under like embargo and you can't talk about it and blah blah blah. But at least you get to throw your 2 cents in and be like, well, look, I don't think this is going to work. Maybe we could restructure it this way. Because at the end of the day, these are the guys that are spending their money on the game. These are the guys that know the game. And these are the guys that really do know best in terms of content. So bring some of the guys in and fucking talk about it. Because what you really want to be doing is talking with the players, the people that play it every day, the people that know the game, the people that know everyone else that play the game, and everyone's talking, everyone knows the score, everyone knows what makes good content and what doesn't. And then at least this way, mistakes don't get made, like making Elusive Target Arcade, which no fucker likes. Because this was just a terrible way of implementing something into the game. I would love to be in Colorado. Well, yeah, like I say, that's how I feel about the whole thing. Make it permanent. Bring back more challenges. Bring back more unlocks. People are happy not getting locked out of content. They can play whichever elusive target they want, whenever they want. It's just gonna open up more areas and more things to do inside the game. And I think this would be good for the game long term, because it's a lot more content. All right, you've got the main missions, then you've got your side missions, then you've got your elusive target campaign, right? And then we've got freelancer to look forward to later down the line, which I'm hoping. I mean, I don't want that to fail. I don't want any of the content to fail. But hopefully that is going to be the big thing. Well, I'm in Redux. Sorry, I didn't see you there. So yeah, for me, the whole way the elusive target thing is working is just terrible, and I don't like it. And maybe if IO were actually talking to the players, they might not have just went ahead with this, which is just terrible. So yeah, I'll leave that there. I think I've pretty much got my point across. And now I'm just gonna fucking ramble and start going in circles. But yeah, thanks everyone for jumping in and throwing in your 2 cents as well. I appreciate it. And that's the end of episode 3.